By now, you know that we love lists. So yeah, you may have noticed, but no matter what the list is, someone has needs that aren't addressed. Good news for everyone. This list is a lot like nothing else. It's a list of cars that we recommend for under 10 grand, and I promise you there's one on this list for you, guaranteed. What's up guys? I'm the dude that YouTube girlfriend puts up with all the time. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and buckle up, and let's go. Now, guys and gals, let's have a heart-to-heart real quick. Most of the cars that end up on our list are not cars I would personally recommend. There's a reason that old luxury cars depreciate. So this list though is one that I would personally recommend everyone. They are decently reliable, they're still fun to drive, and cover a huge variety of situations. So why don't we start off with a great daily driver that is made by one of the most reliable brands on planet Earth? Yes, the IS300. It's an amazing car, but they are now unaffordable thanks to that drift tax. But people are still sleeping on their younger, slightly smaller brother, which is still a rear-wheel drive practical four-door that is a hoot to slide around. Here's one for just 9,000 bucks, which is really what they go for every single day. If you can save a few more G's, well, then you could get a manual option. But the auto, it's fine for getting around. But if you don't really care about doors and you really need that all-important manual, then get a 350Z. And there's a reason why it's on all of our lists, because for the money, it's the best performance car that you can buy, hands down, and one that totally fits into the ideal car strategies, so you can make money driving it, if you check out the free webinar up here. Plus, you can get a ragtop, and here's one for just under 10K. But if you shop around and you're willing to get a higher mileage car, which isn't really that big of an issue with the VQ engine, I've seen them as low as 5,000 bucks in decent condition. Now, the problem with rear drive cars is that it's tough to take out when it gets snowy. So, if you're an enthusiast that lives somewhere where it actually has seasons, well, just bite the bullet and get a WRX. You know what the Rexy is. We did a whole video about it up here. Now, modified Subarus have a habit of blowing more white smoke than the walking vape pod driving them. But notice I said modified. If you leave them alone, they will take care of you and last a long time. Pick up this hatchy Rex for less than 9 grand and enjoy year-round driving performance. But maybe you're a little bit more interested in arriving in style. Well, let's go back to Lexus and get you into an LS430. The Lexus LS400 is the god of long-lasting JDM luxury, and the follow-up, the LS430, is a worthy successor. With a super smooth V8, world-class interior, and pure Toyota reliability. You can get them with under 100,000 miles on them for around 10 grand, like this one here. But honestly, they go for under 5 grand all day with a few more miles on the clock. You definitely don't need to worry much about a few extra miles. I mean, after all, it's just a Toyota. And what if you want something that's getting rare? You know, like an Integra GSR. The Integra Type R is one of the best front-wheel drive cars ever built. But good luck finding one. The good news is that the GSRs are still out there. Here's a clean one for just 5 grand. It's high mileage and modified, but that's what all of them are. Don't let that bother you though. Just have fun and keep the oil fresh. Then sell it for more than you bought it for, because they're only getting rarer every single day. But I know that Integras, well, they're kind of an acquired taste. If you want something fun, reliable, comfortable, practical, and holds its value, and it's super easy to work on, you get a Honda Accord. Do you feel betrayed when I say get a Honda Accord? They are so boring, except they aren't. Honda's manual transmission is one of the best transmissions out there. In fact, I might prefer it over my Porsche 911's transmission. And the Honda V6 is straight up amazing. Plus, you can get the Accord 6+6. That's 6 cylinders and 6 speeds. And the best part is it's under 10 grand every day. Here's one for under 8, but they don't get the best gas mileage. So if you need really good gas mileage or you just do a lot of driving in the city, well, get a Civic Si. And it really is same as before. Great motor, fantastic manual transmission, high resale value, and infinite aftermarket support. Enough said. Get a 7th gen with the crazy center console shifter for less than 9 grand every day. Brad, Civics and Accords, boring. I want to be different. Fine. You know what you get? a MazdaSpeed 3 instead. Compared to the Civic Si, the MazdaSpeed 3 is just as reliable, has more potential honestly, and feels a little bit less refined, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Best part, you get to feel better about having something that's not a Civic for less than the cost of a Civic. Here's one for 8 grand. And I think we can all agree hatchbacks are great, but what if you need more room or need to strap in for the long haul? That's the Outback's domain. For less than $10,000, you could do a lot worse than a Subaru Outback, which is well known for being the adventure vehicle of choice for people who call themselves adventurers. They're rugged enough to take on fire trails, have enough space to sleep in the back when you forgot to book a hotel, and you wanna test out that suspension. You can also adopt a rescue dog in one, and shell out just under $7K for this beaut. Crikey! Outbacks don't have much style though. So, if you are into distance driving and want to be a bit more cool, V6 Mustang. Oh no, you can't buy a not V8 Mustang. It's not a real Mustang. The V6, it's a fine motor. The Mustang is a fantastic touring car. And if you want to get around in comfort and style for less than 10 grand, Mustang really is a great choice. And yes, I get it. Nothing on this list so far has phenomenal gas mileage. That changes now with the Honda Del Sol. This is a car that people, for some reason or another, just totally forgot about, but it's a rad little car. It's a convertible 2-seater Civic, and it gets great gas mileage. Plus, you can tune it like any other Civic, and you can pop the top to impress your date. It's like the most affordable JDM 90s car out there too. You can pick them up all day long for less than 5K. Those are smaller, believe it or not, than a Miata though. And some of you need to haul a family around, and no one wants a minivan. So, you get a Sequoia instead. The Sequoia is the 4Runner's big brother. It's based on the Tundra, it's very comfortable to drive, fits 7, and can go anywhere. Plus, it's a Toyota, so you know it's never gonna leave you stranded anywhere. It's a Japanese company proving that they can build an American SUV, and you can get one for 9,000 bucks. Nice. But sometimes you need a little bit more utility and an open bed. Well, you get a Frontier. No, not a Tacoma. Yes, there are Tacomas for under 10K. They are 2-wheel drive base models and they're fine. Here's one, but for the money, value per dollar, a Frontier, it's reliable, well built, and it's a little truck that packs a big punch. Plus, personally, I think it offers a lot more to an equivalent Taco. Here's a Frontier for the same price, and it's got the off-road package. 2-wheel drive Taco, or all-wheel drive with off-road package Frontier. I know which one I'd pick. Little trucks are for little jobs though, and if you're working on a farm, well, you need a real truck. The Chevy 500 just entered the chat. The Silverado 2500 is a favorite here at the Ideal headquarters. We had a utility truck that ran past 400,000 miles. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but rumors are that it's still roaming the California hills till this day. If you need to get serious work done with your hands, the big V8 is hard to beat. And since they were so popular as utility trucks, you can get one with a super useful utility bed for under 10K, like this one. Now, there's something between a huge work truck and a little around town truck though, and that's the midsize pickup. My choice would be the Ram 1500. First things first, you can't go wrong with an F-150. Avoid the Triton V8s though. But we're looking for value per dollar. And again, what you get for the money, Ram just seems to hit a little bit harder. Here's a 4-door with a camper shell and it's less than 8K. And if we go a little smaller than full-size vehicles without sacrificing the utility, we end up with a smaller SUV like the Honda CR-V. It's a Honda that really just wants to be a Subaru. They get great gas mileage, can fit a ton of stuff, come with their own picnic table, and are cheap as hell. True story, a friend of mine raced hers in the Gambler and continues to daily it. Grab this one for just 4 stacks, and I'll see you at the next Gambler 500, which if you haven't seen the off-road Lamborghini yet, incredible. An off-road Lamborghini is not boring, where a CR-V kinda is. So, what has a legendary VQ engine under the hood and has a little bit more curb appeal than a CR-V? Well, this thing. It's called the EX35. And what it is a rear wheel drive SUV with a 0 to 60 time in 6 seconds, all while holding 4 people comfortably. So how much for the ultimate rear wheel drive family car? Well, just like everything else on this list, under 10 grand. Here's one for just under that limit. Nice. But Since they're rear-wheel drive, they don't do off-road very well. And while there are a lot of great off-road options for under 10K, I think you know exactly what I'm about to say. Please subscribe and turn on that notification bell if you're new, because, well, then you join the ideal fam. And if you're wondering what this next vehicle is, I'll give you a hint. YouTube girlfriend already owns one. Yep, Jeep Wrangler. Make all the jokes about reliability that you want, but the truth is that you buy a Wrangler because you want to hit the trail. And Jeeps will get you to the end of the trail and most likely be the rig pulling out all your friends because they can't make it. Now, we're gonna be doing a whole video on buying a Wrangler soon, so please look out for it. Meanwhile, here's a 98 under 10K in decent condition. And all right, down to the last few. And I got a couple of really fun picks. Like, what if you want a classic muscle car? Impossible, right? Get a Nova. The late 60s and early 70s Novas were the tuner cars of their era. They were cheap, well, because there were tons of them. They were easy to make power, and they were incredibly easy to work on, which means if you have a need to own some American muscle, well, you still can. This is probably a good buy at under 7K. Just put the stock hood back on, unless you actually have a hat for it. And the next vehicle is definitely the fastest one on this list for under 10K. It's the C5 Corvette. And yes, they are impractical, have a reputation of being owned by old people and their parents, and are getting a little old now. Although, if you like pop-up headlights, this is the car for you. But guess what? They are fast, and the C5s are finally dipping below the 10K mark. Here's one that's right on the edge. Wow, okay, that was a list, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you're in the market for a car. And or did you find this list helpful? And if you're looking to go from a cheap car to a supercar, the best way to do it is understand the rules of the game and become an expert in negotiation, financing, and understanding when you should buy and when you should sell your ideal car. So I'm gonna link down to the Ideal Car Strategies free 30-minute webinar where you can learn 7 mistakes I see people do all the time when trying to buy their dream car and make money enjoying it. And if you like what you see, well, consider getting the paid curriculum. Also, if you're new here, I'm Brad Danger. This is Ideal Cars. Please subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and hit the like button. Lets us know that we made a good video and we should make more. Also, promise me one thing, say it with me, keep living the ideal lifestyle.